Well, that's like for trying to produce while doing this. Welcome to We're Creative. It's going bananas. Here we go. All right, so welcome to the show, Adam. Welcome to the show, everybody. Getting ready to talk some AEW Revolution as well as some fun hot takes in the world of wrestling. Adam, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Man, I am shot out of a cannon right now, ready to go. So, kicking right off into this thing. I know you and I talked about it a lot last week. Talked about it a little bit over the weekend in text.
Yep.
AEW Revolution. Tell me your impressions.
Tony's going around being the good promoter that he is, and as I put my thank you Sting thing up. Look, he's going around being the great promoter that he is. Oh, it was the greatest pay-per-view we've ever had. Calm down, Tony. Calm down. Was not the greatest pay-per-view you ever had. Did you forget about this 80,000 person venue called All In that you guys did last year? Calm down. It was not better than All In. I thought some of the matches were better than anything All In put together, but All In was a spectacle.
Yeah.
This show had letdowns. Not many. One match I really didn't care about. One match I had very high expectations for. Had a letdown. That's the women's match.
Interesting.
That
okay.
match. I'm wondering if someone told them before they went out, everyone's running long. You lost 5 to 10 minutes. Because that match, the ending seemed very rushed. Like they had more time to tell a story and something was cut. It was very, very disappointing. Not very disappointing. It was disappointing. They put on a good shtick. I thought that was Tony in her old gear. And then I'm like, that's not Tony. That's Mariah May. Okay, so they got me.
Oh, me too, man. 100%. Hook, line, and sinker. I was like, okay, like how do they get the rights to that look to begin with? But I'm here for it.
That was her original AEW look when she came in.
Didn't she use that also in NXT though? Or very close to the same. Maybe been color swap somewhere.
Close, but that was traditional Tony Storm when she came in and when she debuted.
Gotcha.
Man, Ospreay's something else. I don't think the man has a first, second, or third gear. It's like he starts in fourth and then just kicks it into fifth plus. That man is something else. I mean, maybe he does have those initial gears, but he came out and just went nuts.
I'm actually going to critique this match a little bit.
Please do, because it's match of the night, and people are calling it front runner for match of the year, and I kind of agree.
Well, I hit my pet peeve in wrestling. A finisher should be a finisher. Don't bury your own finisher. Especially with multiple. Yeah. Don't do multiple and have them kick out. Like, I get you want to sell toughness, you want to sell he's amazing, but no, man. Like, I've seen your other matches when you go down to one finisher, don't act like all of a sudden you're going to take 10 of them and keep rolling. I mean, it's my own, like, it hurts my ability to suspend disbelief is why I hate it so much. Like, please give me the full, let the finishers be somewhat sacred.
Yeah.
A submission, I get it. You can escape a submission, you can get a rope break. Those I get. But if I'm hitting you with just ridiculous move after ridiculous move, and you're wobbly legged and legs falling out, bro, if I hit with my finisher and you're that far gone, you're not kicking out on a 2 count. You're just not. I don't care how slow it is. So that's my biggest problem with this match was both wrestlers burying their own finisher.
Okay, so I'll add on to that.
Okay.
I need to watch more Takeshita matches.
Don't we all, though, really?
I don't think he's as good as people think. Because I want to believe in the kid. I don't think he's anything special. Ospreay shined and carried the entire match. I will say this. That blue Thunderbomb was clean and it was gorgeous.
Absolutely.
It was some reversal into a blue Thunderbomb, and it was amazing. I wasn't sure if they were going to end the match after that brain buster that Takeshita hit on the turnbuckles. Ospreay's back afterwards was just.
Well, I felt bad until I saw Darby. And Darby Allin's back is a whole other situation.
Oh, his back, yeah.
But yeah,
Last
but no,
Wednesday, he's still wearing bandages.
as you should be. 13 somehow only 13 stitches, really. Anyway,
we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. But no, Takeshita to me is still really good. I think the hard part you have here is Ospreay is so hot, so on his game. Ospreay is, I'll put it like, I don't know, let's call it absolute peak Kenny right now is where I'm seeing.
Yes,
Ospreay.
he's the best wrestler in the world.
Like,
Ospreay is at that Omega level.
And Kenny's still great. Don't hear me wrong in saying this. It's just that this happens in any sport.
Yes.
The torch is going to pass to the younger talent, and he will also lose it one day.
Yep.
That's okay.
Someone else will come along that'll do something insane and take it from that. Okada held it. Kenny took it. Ospreay's taking it.
Yep.
It's how it is. And we're not saying anything about Okada being a bad wrestler. We're not saying anything about Kenny being a bad wrestler. There's only room for one at the top. And the way Ospreay's been wrestling, he got to the top. Kenny's probably 2. Seth, maybe 3. Okada's in that 4 range. Like, Okada has become the best wrestler too. He doesn't have to do as much, but what he doesn't show in the ring, he draws in a crowd, he brings you in emotionally, and he sells more of a story, and he makes whoever else is in the ring look good. And that's one of the best qualities to Okada's game. So, like, again, go ahead.
I want to throw a name at you, though. In top 5, Charlotte Flair for me. Right now,
I'm
active.
not putting her in top 5.
I absolutely will. And I'll tell you why. I mean, looking at your peers for comparison, for one, looking at what you do for the division you're in, for the sport. Right now, she's had her health funk, but Charlotte Flair has been, she's carried how many superstars in WWE to good matches.
Correct.
She hits her spot. She's, I mean, all joking aside, she has the pedigree. Like, it's all, but not only does she have the pedigree, it clicks. I would say that where I look at, like, Natalya, for example, is very good. Very good. Charlotte is great. And it's in the small things. It's in the Natty is so in kayfabe, it doesn't make sense. Like, she be almost not believable at that point. Charlotte can, especially heel Charlotte, make me believe, man, Stephanie's kind of a you know what. I'm like, sorry, Charlotte, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Ashley, sorry. But
see, here's the thing. If you were to tell me of the female wrestlers, Charlotte's in your top 5, yes, I agree with you. I think it's Charlotte, it's Becky, it's Sasha, it's Bayley, insert wrestle the 5. It's the 4 horsewomen and insert wrestler. You want it to be Bianca, you want it to be Asuka, Kairi, Io, insert whoever. Those 4, it's no pundit. They've revolutionized women's wrestling.
mm-hmm.
Those 4 horsewomen did for wrestling what the 4 horsemen did. And I never watched back then, but when you think impactful players, Malenko, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, all these other names, they really did. They really succeeded. Like, I'm not putting Charlotte in an overall top 5. She's absolutely, she might be one of the best, 1 or 2 in the female rankings. I can't put her in that top 5. I can't put her over Ospreay, Seth, Kenny, Okada. Heck, you could put Roman in there for the storytelling if you wanted to.
So, yeah, I guess for me, it's I think that, again, it's the fun of this, right? The top 5 is always a debate because there is no actual top 5. We can both have our top 5, and it's as real as anyone out there in the IWC or watching the show. And that's the beauty of what we can do here at If We Were Creative. A little self plug here for a second because we want this show to grow. Please share it with your friends if you're watching this. If you like it, give us a little shout out. We want to grow the viewership. We want to cover what you want to cover. All right, enough self promotion. So, I guess I want to ask you, how did you feel about the match order for the event?
I thought it was good. I thought the TNT title leading off was a great way to get the show started. Mm-hmm. The All-Star match, I did not care about. I thought the last 3 was the right order. Of the 3 that, the world title match was underwhelming to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun, but it was underwhelming. And we said this last week. Joe was put in a really tough spot when he became champion. Mm-hmm. Because I'm sorry, Hangman Swerve 3 is going to happen before Swerve gets that title.
It absolutely will, yeah.
Whether it's a dynasty or more aptly double or nothing, that match is ending inside of some sort of cage. Whether it's a Hell in a Cell type of gimmick for AEW, whether it's some sort of lethal lockdown, it's going to involve that type of level where there's weapons, there's everything else involved. There's tables, ladders, chairs, weaponry. However AEW wants to create that kind of match, that's how this ends. It'll end with a Swerve win. Hangman can go off and turn heel after that. If you noticed on Dynamite, notice what tunnel Swerve came out of. He came out of the face tunnel.
So while you mentioned that, I want to bring up 2 things here. The color scheme looked like NXT 2.0. I don't like it. Number 2.
Yeah, I saw the color scheme. I'm like, no.
But
no.
I will say I do love the return to the tunnels. So I did not like them. Looked to me like an old Raw set, what they had there for a while. And it just was not. I like the tunnel is very Dynamite. It's very AEW, and I love it. Give me a right and left tunnel.
It's TNA.
That's
TNA
fine.
Was famous for the tunnels back in the day. Remember that before they became coming out of whatever side, they had either the center tunnel, or for a little bit, I think TNA had the 2 side tunnels. So when Dynamite debuted it, I'm like, so this is TNA's type of thing. But the tunnels do give a nice aesthetic. You can get rid of it for like a pay-per-view and have, like Revolution, have a lot of unique ways of coming out with the monitors in the front. I like the new set. The colors.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's. I'm not exactly the most artistic guy in the world. I fully admit this, but not my favorite scheme. Again, it looked like 2.0 to me. It's a little too bright. I like the gold and black steering because that is the best era of NXT. It's been the initial era of AEW. Give me more of that, but that's just me.
But they also do this, and if you've noticed, they've changed it up every year. So they're doing like what Raw and SmackDown do. They're going to change the set, right? So we'll see what it's like going into next year and everything. But I think for now, I think this is okay. Maybe if they get enough backlash from the colors, maybe they change it. But I think they're probably going to stick with it. For me, the product's gotten better. Say what you want about nitpicking the color scheme. The product's gotten better immediately this year than what it was the last year to 2 years.
We can hope. I'm not 100% sold yet that it's 100% fixed or resolved, but
they're on a really good start.
They are a good start, but I still want to see some more. I think Punk being gone makes me more interested naturally. Because I'm the anti-Punk mark. But
listen, with all due respect to CM Punk and everything he's done for the business, I don't want to say that it was all his fault. But he came in. Initially, there was no drama, and then there was drama. He leaves, and look, the product got better.
Yeah.
Not immediately when he left, but it was AEW was in that very weird period. When he was in, it's like you try pushing him, and everyone else goes off to the side, and it was a very weird time for them. Whether it had anything to do with Punk or the drama, I think it had a lot to do with the drama, and it was just, it was weird all around. But man, this card was fantastic, top to bottom. The world title match. I mean, what did you think about it before we head to the actual main event?
I understood the ending. I understand it's telling us on the Swerve and Hangman 3. That's great. It just begs the question for me is what are we looking at here? I mean, is this trying to keep Joe as the guy to lose to whether it's Okada or Ospreay or whomever they want?
It'll be Swerve.
If it's me, I have a harder time believing Swerve's going to beat Joe one-on-one if I'm looking at that fight. In a clean match.
Joe's never beaten Swerve clean in a one-on-one match. We've never seen that one-on-one.
I get that, but my point here is that it's that idea of suspended disbelief for us to look at what we're watching. I mean, if I'm not sure exactly your dimension or met in person, but if you were to look at face value here, I'm a 6'7", 300+ pound man. If someone just saw us standing toe to toe, ready to go, who are they betting on?
Hi, Ben.
Yeah.
I'm 5'9", you're 6'7". Yeah, no.
So, I mean, again, I'm not trying to knock you whatsoever. It's just the idea for me. I was looking at Joe and Swerve. To me, there's some pieces that are hard for me to believe. I mean,
well, right, but again, they're in a really weird spot with Swerve. If in fact Swerve is turning face, he came out of the face tunnel.
Yep.
So if in fact that they've swapped, Hangman's gone heel subtly, and Swerve has gone face subtly. I like that you didn't need it all. Oh my goodness, he's a face. Like, they've done it very subtly, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that, because if you watched Swerve's promo on Dynamite, and again, we will get to the main event. I have another match in Revolution. We will get there, but there's a lot that came out. Luckily, because we waited on the show and we saw Dynamite, there is stuff to talk about of the fallout of Revolution. This can go one of two ways. How I think it goes is it's Joe Swerve at Dynasty. Paige screws Swerve out of a title shot. And this leads to that Hell in a Cell lethal lockdown style cage match at Double or Nothing. And that will be one of, if not the freaking headliner.
Yep.
And then Joe's going to say, I've had enough of this. You two settle it. Whichever one of you wins can challenge me at the Double or Nothing. Then you give Swerve his moment. You have to end the Hangman Page Swerve Strickland rivalry before Swerve gets that damn title.
So the other hanging variable to me is our scumbag. When MJF returns,
he's going after Cole.
I get
That's a built-in freaking story. It's right there.
But
Cole isn't cleared.
Right. You have Okada, you have Ospreay, you have Cole, you have MJF, you have Joe,
you know
have
what's
Swerve.
Sad is it's like Ospreay's here, Okada's here, and then it drops to like MJF and everyone else. I'm sorry, when you know bringing in those wrestlers, there's a teardrop underneath them. I'm sorry. There's no one else in AEW that can touch those two names. They're too good. They're too good.
I agree. I would love to try and find a way to counterpoint.
See, exactly. You're trying to find out who would challenge them. They're the two top names in the industry. What? I'm just saying, when Omega gets back, can we have a triple threat between Ospreay, Omega, and Okada, please? Somehow, someone make that happen.
So I want Seth in that match so bad, too, if I'm being honest.
Oh, that'd be a ton of fun. Put Danielson in there, too. Why not?
So for me, AJ Styles and Seth Rollins are two of my favorites to watch. AJ looks great right now. I mean, dude looks stacked. Dude put on that muscle. He came out. He looks good. He's moving well still.
Wrestler, yeah.
So
he's what?
Sorry.
What did you say something about being a movie star?
No, I'm saying the dude built muscle. He looks like he's swole right now. Yeah. Probably as he's looked in a long time. But no, for me, I'm looking at AJ, and like I said, last 2 years were going to be. But AJ and Seth to me are the epitomes of good wrestlers that have done it the right way. And I would love to see those guys, to your point, with Omega, with Okada.
Danielson, Ospreay.
Ospreay, absolutely. I mean, hard to go wrong. So
that would be, I'm so looking forward to this. Like, this is gonna be if they can do so much now. They really, really can. They can do a ton with the roster they have. But speaking of AJ Styles, Shout out to Ospreay for the Styles Clash during that match.
Right?
That the entire crowd collectively went, whoa. And that crowd deserves so much credit for how great they were the entire night. Was one of the best crowds they've ever had. And I was just listening to Tranquilo Club's YouTube video recapping Revolution before we started. And he said it was probably one of the best crowds they've ever had. They were engaged the entire night. And it's nice to see that. Like, yes, was a majority of people there to see Sting's last match, which we're about to get into? Yes. Because that match had all the feels, insane spots. Darby did insane, crazy shit that he shouldn't have done. Hope he's okay. That was scary.
But I loved hearing Darby trying to give Sting cues while he's giving his farewell speech. And it just was funny to me. He's like, you see him practically whispering, bro, 90 seconds, 30 seconds. Just shut up and say bye. Like, he's supposed to see Darby, like, trying to give him those. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that ruined the end of it. But it's like, I don't know if it was the contract they had with Bleacher Report, where you had a hard end at midnight, because it ended at midnight, and so that was like, that was weird. Because Sting, it was like, oh, I'm being told to go, and like that's not the way you send it off. But then I'm like, okay, we were texting back and forth. I'm like, okay, all of us are back and forth in our group chat going, I'm thinking this is going to be a social media exclusive. Sure enough, everything starts popping up on social media, and AEW's like, basically, here's the segment. Here are the wrestlers on the ramp. Here's the send-off, and that's more proper to it. And Darby's posting, he goes, I'm going to go to the hospital now.
Yeah.
And by the way, to Darby's credit, he didn't go straight to the hospital. He came out and did the media scrum afterwards with Sting. I watched the media scrum and I'm like, go to the hospital. Why are you there?
So I love that they had an alternate ending if Darby couldn't continue. They had that set once they went through rehearsal and realized that he's going to do this spot. They had an alternate ending for us, but he's able to finish it, obviously, and that worked out. But you mentioned the media scrum. I want to touch on that for 1 second. How do you feel about Sting breaking kayfabe in the media scrum, discussing the planning of the match?
It's Sting's last match. He did break kayfabe. It's media scrum is where you can kind of break kayfabe at times. Tony is not breaking kayfabe at anything, but Sting's last match, he said it, I don't want to manage. Maybe we do something like, he's being honest with everyone. He doesn't want anyone to speculate. Like, this was it. I am not coming back. You will not see me on Dynamite. Like, if something's right and I can come back and do something, we'll keep talking. But I don't want to come. I don't want to manage. I don't want to do any of that. I'm okay with it, because he was telling all the fans, like, he was like giving credits to the Young Bucks. I told them afterwards it was one of my top 3 favorite matches of all time. And just, again, like, AEW, as much as it is a show, you see some of that behind the curtain type things that makes me appreciate it. Like when you back did in the TNA days, it was sometimes a little bit, even though that was kind of played into the storylines, you get that behind the scenes like feel. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think
were you okay with it? We're like, yeah, probably shouldn't have broken kayfabe. Then again, Sting does not care. They can't fire him.
Well, that's what. So I've waffled a lot, honestly. Looking at it, I was kind of like, that's very non-old school of him. But if there's anyone in the industry who's going to get a free pass on that, it's the Stinger.
Yeah.
Like, I think that they made the mention too while he was walking out. He's one of the few guys in the entire industry who everyone will universally say that's a good man. Yeah, we talked about last week too. So he's a legitimately good person.
Yep.
And he's a great wrestler, a great locker room presence. It's nice to have a shirt I know I can wear, and it'll never be something that's embarrassing. I had bought a Big Cass and Enzo t-shirt once upon a time. Dang it. My son has a CM Punk shirt for some reason, but you know, all those things come across.
I had one back in the day too.
Well, you could say you fell for that cult of personality. I get it, but you know, it still doesn't make it right. So anyway, moving through this. I'm sorry, I got a little hung up here.
You're fine.
I want to talk one more second. This I want to hit is going to be. I want to do one more match. One more match I want to bring up though.
Please tell me it's the tag match.
Actually, no. It is Eddie. Eddie and
okay, yeah, that
Bryan
one
Danielson.
I'm bringing it up, but that tag match between FTR and
it's how I said in our text. This is how taking wrestling should be done.
Yes, it was outstanding, and probably match of the night if it wasn't for Ospreay Takeshita.
Right, and I agree with that. But so Eddie and Danielson to me was a good match, and I loved the social media like after interviews and stuff. It showed Eddie talking to Brian in the trainer's room. Like those things to me are like, I'm loving this. I'm waiting for, however, Yuta and Mox to turn on Brian because he doesn't quite fit the group anymore.
Nope.
He's a little too babyface for me for how they're running Mox and Wheeler. So again, that's just me. I'm kind of waiting for that moment.
I'm waiting for Yuta to do something.
Well, and I trust Mox to put Yuta over something huge too. Like I think it's going to come. He does. I was talking to my cousin about that too. I said, between him and Daniel Garcia,
they need gimmicks.
They need gimmicks. They need something. They are good. They are fun to watch right now, but this is not. These current positions are not going to last forever.
Correct.
You need to find.
We know what Moxley, Claudio, and Danielson are. They built their names and reputations based off of Moxley's crazy stuff, but insane technical stuff and intensity. Claudio is the stronger than anyone else in the ring. Doesn't matter how big you are, he can be outstrength and a super technical wrestler. And Danielson, WrestleMania 30, the underdog that came up to win the world title against, these big names and did that. And he built this name in the Indies on technical, came up at a character, and has gone through it. Like we have their names. You just done nothing. You've held the Pure Championship. Great. There's no character. You got more intensity. You need something to go with that. But
and I think it's going to become that balance for us going forward on can we start, and again, I keep saying this tonight, but can we embrace kayfabe again a little bit more?
Yeah.
Not saying to the old school levels, but can we give me a Macho Man again? Use current lingo. I don't care if it's Riz King. Like, give me something that's. I know, don't use Riz King. That's a horrible idea, but you get the point. Like, give me some ridiculous names. So,
look at why Okada's succeeding. That's a once-in-a-generation gimmick. In addition to his talent in the ring, the gimmick also puts him over. The music that goes with it. Like, he's got the whole package.
It's part of why I love Jericho, by the way. The many faces of Jericho, the characters Jericho has played, I haven't loved all of them.
Agreed.
I'm talking about a guy who can get over any gimmick. Like, some gimmicks get guys over, some guys get gimmicks over. And I think Jericho can get any gimmick over.
Fair.
I mean, it's insane.
But like AEW, and we'll get into this. It's a topic I want to get into is the abundance of talent. I think is becoming a problem. Because two of the big three have already debuted. The last one's debuting next week that they were not shy about whatsoever with the,
right,
the promotion material. Sting's last match was, I think, everything we wanted it to be and more. Would we have loved to see the WCW and TNA and WWE content during that, Sting in a movie theater, watching the, the film, the final showtime. Yeah, well, you would have loved to seen more WCW film and all of his TNA stuff. Like, I didn't realize those are his kids until I heard one of the announcers say it. But he'll have his kids out there. If they had access to the TNA stuff, Joker Sting's making an appearance.
Right.
WCW, we might have, other stuff making an appearance. WWE was kind of a mix of Joker and everything else. Like, Joker Sting was a huge part to his character later in his career. That was one of the best things he did throughout his career, in my opinion. Joker Sting was amazing.
So what confuses me more with this is that WWE even makes mention during their broadcast. With
that
Cole
was
and
awesome,
McAfee.
by the way. Massive class to Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. Huge class.
I mean, they mentioned that we did get the little snippet of Wolfpack Sting in the video package, and that's as close as we got to anything that was in that era. Which, I mean, they had to give him something, right? But it seems like, I don't know, I wish we would have seen a little more cooperation there. Like, you got an all-time great.
Agreed. Give
him his flowers. Let his current company have all the footage they want.
40-year
on the
career.
package.
Yeah, you give them, you make the exception.
All right, so kind of moving through this. I want to go
spot. We've left the elephant in the room spot the entire time.
Go ahead.
Darby off the ladder through a glass pane. Real glass, by the way. Was the move unnecessary? 100%. Was it necessary for the match? Absolutely. And I'm happy Sting had a shirt on because he also went through a glass pane. But that match was everything you wanted it to be, and it was like Sting hulking up at the end and doing everything he needed to do, and that was a perfect way for him to go out. Thank you, Sting. Thank you, Sting. They had all the emotions, all the spots you wanted, all the respect from all of them. I couldn't be happier for how that match ended. What about you? Like, just the match overall in the end.
100%. I think that what sells me the most, and this is my only little point of emphasis for myself in the past year, has been take joy in other people's joy. How joyful did Sting look after that match? I mean, you could just see this mix of pride, like appreciation. Just he was literally just drinking it in. Yep. It's like, you know what? Like I loved it. It felt so real because it was real. And it's one of those things that, again, a guy I think the world of, that I think that people leading off of their Mount Rushmores is insulting. And again, there's different reasons to make a Mount Rushmore. I get it, but Sting has to be in the top 4 conversation. I don't care who you're talking about for total contribution to the industry.
Yep. I think
no one touches
Rushmore, it's either Rock or Sting. Hogan, you can't argue. Stone Cold, you can't argue. Cena, you really can't argue. It's really the 4th spot. Hogan took you through the era where it blew up. Stone Cold defined the Attitude Era. Cena carried WWE on his back single freaking handedly for 10 years while they were trying to find themselves post-Attitude Era. And all the way through the late 2000s and early 2010s, he carried it. I still put Rock on there, but you make a really good point. I think I'd probably move Rock off because he was important. But when you look at their careers as a whole, Sting had way more importance to the industry.
See, and I knock off Hogan entirely and put in Flair.
You can do that too.
I mean, looking at the overall, the man made the Intercontinental Championship mean something that initially. Miz has done again more recently, but I mean, to me, Ric Flair, Stone Cold, I can't deny. I'm not personally a mark, but I can't deny his spot up there.
Right.
With Sting. And to me, that's where that other 4th spot becomes debatable even more so. Like I cannot make a list without Ric Flair and without Sting.
Yeah, I mean, like other wrestlers are like Flair, Shawn Michaels, and some of these wrestlers that actually do this, some of these legends are putting names on there. I'm like, really? But when you work with these people and you, rather than as a fan, you're doing the work with them, you might get more of that appreciation from that side.
Well, I think hearing even Hogan talk about, he was not conditioned ever to be able to go like Ric Flair could go. Ric Flair was 60 years old, wanting to go 45 minutes in a match. I mean, the guy put on how many half-hour plus matches everywhere he went, whether there's cameras rolling or not.
Right.
The guy lived the stinking gimmick to literally what should have killed him 20 times by now, but he's still stomping around.
I'm not happy he took a bump in that match, by the way, but the Bucks did a great job. It was a very light kick. They sold it like a heavy kick, but those feet did not connect with any kind of intensity.
You know darn well Flair's not going out there and not taking a bump. If he has anything to say about it,
that's his respect for Sting. To go out and do what he did during the match, to go and defend him at 75 years old with the amount of bumps that this guy's taken.
Right.
Again, credit to the Bucks. The super kicks sold it. Flair sold it. Credit to all of them. But it's not like he had to take a falling off the apron kind of bump. He didn't take a power bomb. It played into the story. It was really well done. It was good to see Ricky the Dragon Steamboat there too.
Oh, I popped hard. I popped so hard when Ricky came out. I loved it.
Everything about the match. Was it match of the night? No. Was it the perfect send-off for the Icon Sting? 100%.
It's the best retirement match to date that I can think of.
100% agreed.
It was so epitomized everything about him. Never made him look old. They always made him look strong and didn't look fake while making him look strong.
Correct.
So, props to the Bucks. But now I want to go into your story here for a second. I am actively pissed at the Bucks right now, though. They had to claim Okada. They had to bring him to their really.
I understand.
I mean, this is how you keep Okada from getting gold. This is how you put him on a story. You don't have to put him in a title match. But
he's getting gold very soon. As soon as Dynasty. Poor Eddie had a great match and is going to get that gold ripped away from him.
I think Okada's going to have to wait a year.
He's getting that Continental crown very quickly.
Okay.
We'll getting that at Dynasty.
We'll see. I'm not there. I think that you can have this whole elite feud now. Because we both know what's going to happen at Blood and Guts this year. You're going to have Okada and the Young Bucks against Kenny and Hangman and insert whoever else they want to promote here. Probably Ospreay.
See, I think it's the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, but I can't think of... I understand why they would bring that together. I don't get who they would face. Unless that turns into Kenny, Hangman, and Bullet Club Gold versus the Elite and, I don't know, the Acclaimed, or switch them or do whatever. I don't know how they would do Blood and Guts this year. I have no clue. Because Blood and Guts the 5-on-5.
It doesn't have to be, but it should be. But looking at Max Caster during the match, after the match, unless he was just really being unprofessional and down on himself, if he really was botching for real, I think it's those were.
Yeah, I think it's a gimmick.
I completely agree. I think it's completely work. And so I'm looking at this, and because you saw him selling that after the match, I don't think he's that petulant that he's going to sit there and bemoan his own problems, unless it's storyline.
I agree. I agree with you. I think it's a work. And I think it's a good work. And I think this can play into some crazy thing. Because people have become they've really embraced Max with enjoying the rap and whatnot. And now it's a wrinkle in his character. And I like it. I think it adds a different dimension. Should I go off on Okada now? Or on AEW, not Okada? Look, I'm going to AEW Big Business next week because it's in Boston. Why did you take that away from me? Tony Khan, you took that debut away from me. You sold Big Business as the night that pro wrestling changes. 2 of your big 3 have debuted. Yes, Mercedes is going to be able to debut in her hometown. I'm going to mark out. I've said this before. I've seen Mercedes way back in the days when she was in her late teens, early 20s, when she was in chaotic wrestling. Girl has talent. Now you're going to get her to debut in AEW in her home city. Awesome. But as an Okada fan who has been since Wrestle Kingdom 9, I'm disappointed in you, AEW. You took that away from me. In all seriousness, though, it was a really weird way to have Okada debut. But I would have loved to see both debut next week. I understand why. Every one of those big three are going to get their moment. You had the Ospreay signing at Full Gear. He had his moment at Revolution. Okada had his moment post-Revolution. Mercedes has her moment next week. I know. Shocker. Surprise. I'm not saying anything that's not very well known at this point, considering how the promotion material is. But I thought for Okada, they could have debuted it a little bit better. Ben, what did you think about Okada's debut last night?
So I'm okay with it. We talked about it a little bit before. I think this is, again, looking at this as the way to keep him off of having to sniff a title right away. You can have him play out the bad blood here with the EVPs. You can have the whole Bang Bang Gang, elite, turncoats, crossing lines, whatever. But I feel like there's a lot that I could have. Again, I like seeing attacks. Give me a built-in blood feud right away.
Yeah.
Unless it's Kenny and Kenny's ready to go, this is not how I would have done it. Now, if Kenny is ready to go, I would love to see at least a promo from Kenny on Rampage calling Okada out.
You took my spot.
Calling the Bucks out.
Yeah.
And letting this really become, you're firing me? You're firing me?
Right.
Who the hell are you guys without me? I'm here for it. I want to see that side of Kenny come out, and I want them to pick on the Bucks for being spot wrestlers. Someone say it. Like, that's easy, low-hanging fruit. Like,
call
it
them
out
spot monkeys. Call them spot monkeys.
I mean, again, I'll pop hard for it. But, I'm going to transition here a little bit. My logo did here already. But Seth freaking Rollins did a thing today. He joined CrossFit Games, CrossFit Open broadcast, and he announced the workout for this week, CrossFit Open 24.2 workout. And dude killed it. I mean, you have Seth in character announcing a workout, but still just giving her, man. Like it's like listen to your high school football coach give a speech, and you're like, let's freaking go. And then the funny part to me was they asked him to describe the workout in one word. And he had the most candid Seth I've seen to date. He looked at the camera and said, it's ass. Your ass is going to hurt. You're going to drag ass. You're going to suck ass. This is going to be, if there's one word for this workout, it's ass. It cracked me up. I mean, like, perfectly in line for his character. Again, he doesn't swear on WWE television really, but that was fun to hear him going that route there. Again, Seth killed it. I'm going to get killed by this workout tomorrow. That's fine. I'm going to enjoy it while I can. But shout out to Seth for making that awesome. In Boise, Idaho, of all places, by the way. So
Boise, Idaho. I didn't even realize that's where it was.
Well, yeah. So they were in Justin Medeiros, who's been one of the fittest guys in the world, 2 of the last 3 years. He has his gym there. So they announced the workout from his gym.
Oh, I see.
But it's some outside of Boise. Like it looked rural. But anyway, moving on to some different things. Look, if you just take time to watch it, it was awesome. So
it's too funny.
But you got some things you want to get off your chest about the wrestling world. And I'm here for it. What do you got?
What did I want to talk about? Refresh my memory. I already voiced what I had to say about Okada.
Yep.
We haven't even addressed the Bastard Pack coming back yet. Amazing vignette during
Revolution.
I was gonna say pre-show, and I'm like, they don't call it a pre-show. Revolution 0 hour.
Right.
I thought, okay, he's out for blood somewhere. He's coming back to make Tony Khan's life freaking miserable.
Right.
I'm like, I love it. Like, this is. Didn't we talk about this a week or 2 weeks ago about Pac? Like, I thought,
where was he? Yeah.
Where is he? What's happening? Is it visa issues? Is it injuries? Like, what's going on? And then I saw that. I'm like, he's playing into it. He's actually playing into this. I'm like, this could work.
Yeah. Glorious. Like, I'm ready for the Bastard.
He's so good. He's so good. But yeah, next week, big business. It's going to be an amazing show. And I mean, what? I'm trying. That's a hot take. Can we go back to the other one?
Okay.
That's a hot take. Getting squashed by Moxley and Claudio. Nothing about that match was a squash match. I thought the Sting match, the way it started, was going to be a glorified squash match. That was not a squash match. Any other card, that's match of the night.
Right. My biggest complaint there, honestly, I don't like blading, and that's the only thing I would go against that. If you've had some color the hard way, great. But
didn't one of them get color the hard way? I didn't even think any of them had color. Oh, Dax got split open.
Yeah. Well, that looked like blade to me. He's tucked behind the stairs. And yeah. So his argument here for the squash, both guys are choked out. I mean, I think it's I'm with you, Adam. I don't call it a squash. I think overall it was a really good match. It was well fought. Yes, the ending was decisive. It doesn't mean it's a squash, I guess, in my opinion. But I get where Claude's coming from.
When we think of a squash, we think of 2 minutes or under, or someone is just getting steamrolled. That's what I think of a squash match.
Agreed.
I think that match was outstanding. It helped establish Moxley and Claudio heading into this tag match. You know, we have a whole tag tournament coming up now for the tag titles.
Yep.
FTR didn't need it. Why the heck would they need it? FTR didn't need it. It establishes Moxley and Claudio as legitimate contenders, and that could be the finals, right? Like, FTR could get their belts back. Maybe you have Moxley get, he's had the world title, he's had the Intercontinental title, the International title. You give him the tag titles. Doesn't that make him a Triple Crown champion?
Well, when you have a million belts in a company, it's hard to call out Triple Crown.
Yeah,
good point here, though, from Claude here. So FTR leaving, not to my knowledge.
No, they signed an extension.
So I think it's more on the side of, will they be more part-time than they have been? I would think so.
Yeah.
You guys have worked the last 2 years. I think FTR is due for that family time. Come on, there's a good piece. But you can't have a turn without FTR. To me, FTR's got to be in there somehow. I'm okay with them losing dirty in the first round, but they've got to be in there.
Yep. FTR signed an extension a year or 2 years ago. Whenever that big run up the titles, what are they going to do? Are they, if they drop them, does that mean that they're leaving? Do they have unfinished business in WWE? Like, no, they re-signed. They re-signed for how long? I don't know. Right? Like, it's not exactly like these guys are in their 20s. At least to my knowledge. Aren't they in their 30s?
Oh, yeah. I mean, those guys are, I'm going to put them roughly my age. I'm going to confirm here real quick with the lovely little Google search.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, Dax is almost exactly my age. So that's late 30s for.
How old's Cash? He seems younger of the two.
He is, but only by 3 years. So Cash is 36 and Dash is 39.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Anyway,
what did you think of
I mean,
Revolution overall as a whole before we move on from that completely?
Sure. Yeah.
9 out of 10 for me.
Revolution. How many?
9 out of 10.
So I said 5. I'm like, where in the hell is that a 5?
No. I'm not going down that low. 9 out of 10. You get Knox for the All-Star match and the women's match.
So I'm going to go here with an 8.5. It's an 8.5. It's not quite a 9 for me. I can't quite go that far. I had this as an A- B+ event when I was done. Very, very good. One I would watch again. But I've seen better.
Yeah.
I've seen a few better. So that's why I'm in that aim.
All In was better.
Yes.
My opinion.
WrestleMania 30 was better. WrestleMania 17 was better. But that's, again, the WrestleManias. I get it's not always fair to compare, especially the old Manias we had.
Oh, the old man.
15 matches.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of happy with Mania. It's kind of 2 nights.
Yeah, after going to Mania, before that I was like, you know what? I'm paying all this money to see a Mania. Keep me inside all day watching wrestling. I'm fine. I'll tell you what, man. I am a solid proponent of this. I wish the prices would go down for tickets, but I mean, as a fan, 7.5 hours plus in the arena for the event, you're so tired by that main event. Everyone is.
Yep.
The emotional highs and lows all day are it's a lot to try and ride through.
Yep.
So I think that you give us 2-3 hour events is way better than one 7.5 hour event. So
yes.
But anyway, that's me.
No, you're not wrong. I remember I usually watch Mania with some friends, and for years it's like we're sitting there, wherever we're all having a good time, but 4 hours in, 5 hours in, 6 hours, like we're all getting tired because it's like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. You have the highs and lows, and it's midnight, and it's like,
look, I'm an old man. I want to go to 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm ready. Like, brother, I don't even watch the end of football games anymore. That's how old I'm getting right now. It's ridiculous. But this Claude, another good point here, bringing the conversation. Mox has won all of the single titles. He's a singles guy. Same with Claudio. Are there any genuine tag teams? Now, Private Party, to me, is 100% a tag team.
Bucks.
I would say the Young Bucks, agreed. I would argue that, FTR. But even the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed are still solidly a tag team.
Yep.
And I'd even go with the Guns are also still a pure tag team.
Street Profits.
I was thinking AEW is my problem there, I guess. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
So, I thought we were talking about just genuine tag teams in general, but yes, AEW, it's tough. Like, obviously, Top Flight are a tag team, but when Darius, had injuries and was in and out of, action for 2 years, Dante was able to thrive a little bit. But Top Flight with Cake, they came in as a tag team.
Yep. And I think that Dante is going to stand on his own just fine, by the way.
I agree.
But that's another story. So, no, I think to your point here, Claude, I'm going to counterpoint a little bit. There are still some pure tag teams. I kind of like putting those guys in singles matches once in a while just to give something different. So what's the top tag team is the next question you asked
that's
this year.
a loaded question.
So
that's a loaded question.
If I'm looking at this from a who's the most over, it's still the Bucks.
Yep.
Like, the Bucks are still the most over tag team in the world right now, as far as I'm concerned. Like, again, doesn't have to be positive heat to be over. They're
the standard bearers.
I agree. And you can look at heel Rock, heel Austin. It's even Roman Reigns right now. you can still be the top dog even from that heel position, and I think that the Bucks are squarely there.
I would argue FTR in terms of over the Bucks, but I would say the Bucks are probably the top tag team in AEW. They are the standard bearers of tag team wrestling, in my opinion.
I think that going back to the Usos, we're still very good as a tag team.
Yeah, they were amazing run as a tag team. Absolutely amazing. They'll go down as probably one of the top 10 tag teams of all time.
DIY is up there for me as well. When they're clicking as DIY, I love it. But even going back to Fish and O'Reilly for a while were very very
Red
good
Dragon. Red Dragon.
So there's a lot to look at there. But yeah, if I'm looking at top for me right this second, it's the Bucks.
It's the Bucks. Yep.
FTR's in the close second.
Agreed.
So, all right, what standard are we going from? Merch, drawing power, or looking at what they actually do for the overall in their matches, in the what you're looking for clicks, what you're looking for actual activity on. Again, the Bucks I think are as over as anybody, and they're making tag team wrestling relevant because you're not going to see Matt or Nick Jackson carrying a singles title. I don't think ever in their careers. These guys are to me as dead set tag team as you could possibly get in the industry.
I agree.
FTR close second there also because Dax and Cash, neither of those guys are going to be carrying singles titles either. But I'm not taking my eyes off the screen. If the Bucks are on the screen, I'm watching.
Yes.
Not saying I like them, but I'm watching. I think Street Profits, when they were at their peak, were really fun. Viking Raiders are a blast. AOP has a chance if they can be booked correctly and do their thing.
I'm sorry, did I laugh?
Look, I like AOP, and
I agree.
But again, it's why the asterisk is if they're booked correctly, and that's why I would join you in your laughter. But look, we're coming close here on time, but I still wanted to touch through one more thing, and that's going to be this year I've had multiple friends reach out to me and ask me or say to me that they're as excited for Mania as they've ever been, or this is as much as they can remember for the last probably 10 years. How do you feel coming to Mania? Are you interested, lukewarm, not interested? Where are you at?
I've been interested since Cody won the Rumble.
Okay.
I did not give a damn really about Rock Roman. Will I watch it? Yes. Am I going to be like, that's the reason I'm watching? No. I think overall, my favorite WrestleMania is WrestleMania 35 from top down. That was absolutely outstanding all the way through. Mm-hmm. That's the Kofi Mania. 30 is known for the Daniel Bryan double match. 25 obviously was amazing just because of Taker and HBK. I didn't really watch anything else. 25 is where I really started watching. But this is a very exciting WrestleMania because we're going to have both wrestlers, Roman and Cody, wrestle both main events on both nights.
Yep.
And that's high praise. What about you?
I'm interested. I'm in the side right now. I'm curious how this shakes out for Damian Priest. Mr. Money in the Bank has had to hold the case, even apparently making social media comments about this, where it's Seth is injured, Roman's tied up, and never there. What's the point of the briefcase if you can't cash it in? If it were me, the briefcase would say he has to be cleared to wrestle. Cash it on Seth in the back. Pin him as a false count anywhere. Take the belt off him. It would get, again, I don't want Seth to lose the belt, don't be wrong, but I don't like seeing Money in the Bank be discredited. Baron Corbin taking the loss was funny. I'm good there. But no, I want to see Damian's cash in to be worth something.
Yeah, he's been stuck because of just how the plans have unfolded. And it's not his fault.
Drew now, the one that
gets the belt, Cody gets the other belt. Now, where I think the Money in the Bank can come in. Look, this is not the first time we've had a Money in the Bank holder hold it past Mania. Dolph Ziggler, 2012. Just saying.
Well, I think we get a very dirty Cody finishes the story and loses it immediately. And it would crack me up, honestly. I would laugh.
I would shut WWE off and probably never watch another one of their freaking products ever again.
And that's why I'm saying I would love it. Like, to me, it's on the side of tick me off, make me angry. I'm okay with it.
I'd probably be. I'm trying not to swear. Priest is not that good. Sorry.
I'm not. Look, I like Damien Priest. I agree that he's not that good, but it still would be a moment of if Priest got it dirty off of Cody, how over of a heel would you have Priest as long as you want it to be?
He would have nuclear heat. Not heat. He would have nuclear heat. My opinion.
And that's exactly why I'd do it.
Do it to Drew. Continue his. I'm so sick of chasing after this freaking title.
But no one really cares there, if we're being honest.
I don't care about Priest, so fine. Give him the other belt.
Fair enough. Well, I'll tell you what, man. We're getting up against the time here. I'm going to take us off. But before we go, any other thoughts or call-outs?
No. And again, just Damian Priest is a good wrestler. That's about it. Like, there's no reason to, like, I give him a world title run, and yeah, I'd want to say something else that's controversial, but never mind. I'm good.
Fair enough. I'll tell you what, I still wouldn't mind finding some weird way to have R-Truth get that. I'd laugh just as hard and be like, all right.
Can you imagine R-Truth costing Damian Priest the cash in?
I absolutely can. 100% can.
That would be funny.
So there's a lot to be said for that, but for that word, let's go out, let's enjoy wrestling. Wrestling, support wrestling, guys. We're here to watch it. Don't be mad about whose brand they're on. Enjoy the show. So, Adam, thank you for your time, brother. We'll see you later.
See you later. Thanks, Ben.
The system.